Hello, Flosstube. It's Melissa, the Stash and Stitcher here. This is my second video, so if you've watched my first one, then thank you and welcome back. I've had a crazy couple of weeks. It's been almost 3 weeks since my last video because I did it on a Monday. And it's just been a little bit hectic since then. What did I do? So I work 7 days on and then I'm off for 7 days. So the week that I put up my first video was the Monday that started my week off. And that week I did a lot of stitching. And usually on my weeks that I work, I come home from work and I stitch for an hour or so. And I didn't do that week, that next week when I worked, because I was so tired. It was just a wild and crazy week. So anyway, with that being said, then my week off, this time, so right now this is the Friday of my week off. I know that's confusing and probably more than you want to know, but anyway, let's see, Tuesday I went to Oklahoma City, drove up there. It's about a 6-hour drive from where I'm at. So I drove there to pick up some of my daughter's belongings and move them back home because she'll be moving home for the summer. So, and she'll be home next week. So I'm excited about that. But anyway, I went and got her stuff, spent the night, got up, and I was in Oklahoma City, and I said, yeah, I'll drive over to Tulsa and see the Silver Needle again. So I went back over there, and I've got a little bit of haul to show for that. But that was my Tuesday and Wednesday, and then I picked up an extra shift yesterday. And so today I'm here, and this is Friday, April 30th. Oh, it's my mom's birthday. I better wish her a happy birthday. So that just threw me for a loop for a second. Sorry. Anyway, it's April 30th, Friday. And so, this weekend is, Laura and Brenda, Brenda and the Serial Starter, they have declared this, Blackbird Designs Weekend. So they're doing a stitch along, and if you haven't heard of it, then you just pick a Blackbird design of your choosing and stitch on it all weekend. And I decided my weekend would start today, and so I've got that started as well. And I kind of had to drag myself away from it. I was having a good time stitching that pattern, so it's fun. And this is actually my first one of theirs to ever do. So, but leading up to that, this week I've been racing for a finish. I wanted to have some kind of finish to show, right? Because that's the goal, right? Start and finish. And I was actually watching. I forget which. Something pumpkin. Anyway, sorry, Olivia. And she's always talking about her mocking whips. And so I don't want to have so many whips that I feel like I'm that far behind. But I definitely want to get a finish a month or something, to show for all my work. So I do have a finish. And I haven't watched a whole lot of Flosstube either, simply because, well, I did during that week that I was off, but that week I worked, I could not fit it in. Sometimes that job gets in the way, doesn't it? So, well, I'll show you my finish. So, this is sew by row. A lot of people have done it. I did it exactly as the pattern's written, using all the called for colors. I almost left the little dividing lines out, just because that seems so laborious there to the end, because I saved it to the end. And I almost left it out, but I'm glad I didn't, because I think it just adds a nice little detail, and it makes it look finished. So I'm a little close to the camera. There we go. So there the whole thing is. So I think I'm just going to tuck that in a simple frame, and because I basically sewed that to just kind of put on the wall in my craft room. So I'm excited about that I finally got that finished. What else do I want to talk about? I didn't make good notes for today either, and I do apologize. My next video, I promise, will be more organized, and maybe more to say. Anyway, this is my red sampler. I shared a little bit with that, or I shared it with you on my last video, but I've done quite a bit more. I didn't have any of the, I don't think I had any of the motifs there on my previous video, and I think I pretty much had cut it off right there, and maybe I had done down that far. So I've done from there over, and then these pieces here. You know, I'm taking my time with that. I'm finding that when I'm stitching things on linen, I stitch way slower than I do on Ada, but I just like the finish of it so much better. But I'm a little more careful, making sure I don't pull too tight and all that kind of stuff. I'm a little bit, I'm nervous about messing that up. It just feels more like it's a more delicate stitch to me, and I don't know, y'all might say nope, it's no more delicate than Ada, but to me it is, and maybe, I don't know, maybe I have a little more patience, I don't know, but that's how I do. So I'm a little slower with that, but this is the what that'll look like when it's finished. So quite a bit more to do. Y'all will be seeing a good bit of that, because I'm really, it's a fun stitch to me. I really enjoy it, and so it's I'm gonna try to work on that, you know, every week, get somewhere on that. So, and then the only other thing I've stitched on that, yeah, those are the two things that I stitched on for the most part in the last couple of weeks. Because I really wanted to finish that sew by row. I was afraid I wouldn't finish it if I didn't hurry up and do that. I don't know if y'all ever do that, get tired of things, but I didn't want to retire it to a basket and then forget about it. And then, you know, I just felt like it, you know, it deserved to be finished, right? So then Wednesday night, I pulled out my my Blackbird design that I was going to work on for this weekend, and you know, just kind of got the corner started, just put a few stitches in just so I knew where I would start, and got my thread organized and all that. And this morning when I got up, hold on, let me get that off there. I started on it, and I've pretty much stitched on it all day, aside from, you know, a few interruptions and doing a couple of chores and, you know, all that kind of stuff. Oh, and I'll tell you what else I did. This is like the second time I've done it. I don't know about y'all, but if I go to the store, I don't care if it's Target, Walmart, the grocery store, whatever, it seems to take me forever. It takes such a huge chunk of my day. I don't know if it's because I dread it so much, because that is like my least favorite thing to do. Or if, you know, like my husband, he can go in there with a long list of things to get. He can be out in 30 minutes. I don't feel like I can do that. I don't know if I'm bargain hunting. I don't know what my deal is. But anyway, I ordered my groceries last night. Ordered them, had them delivered to the house. Didn't go get them, had them delivered. How nice was that? Well, I just knew it was going to be raining this morning, and it was. It's been kind of dreary here all day, and I didn't want to get out in it. So I also knew that I was going to want to get up and get some of my housekeeping stuff done so that I could, you know, stitch for the most part of the day too. So that's what I did. I had my groceries delivered. They were all put away by 9 o'clock this morning. It's awesome. Okay, back to my Blackbird designs. So I got up this morning after I did all my little chores, put my groceries away. I sat down and started on this little stitch here. And so I decided that I would do What Remains Is Love, basically because I had all the threads, I had the fabric, there was no pulling and kitting and all that. It was easy to choose that because it was already ready. But it's also such a gorgeous pattern. Sorry for the glare there. Just so pretty. I just love that color palette. It is so pretty. And this is what I've done on it so far. So I can't wait to see how far I get on that over this weekend. And that's going to turn out so pretty. It's my first time to ever stitch on that's probably the darkest fabric of any kind that I've ever stitched on. So, like I say, I'm kind of new to anything except for white or ivory, Ada. So, Flosstube has really expanded my horizons as far as what's available out there. So, anyway, it's coming together really nicely, and it's fun to do. Let's see. I guess I'll show y'all what I got at the Silver Needle. First, well, I'll just tell you about it. I don't have it put together, but I got a frame to put my to hold my needlework, some of my bigger pieces, because I use a hoop or QSnap or whatever to stitch with. I've tried sewing in hand, and I just don't feel like I can keep that tension very well, and my hands ache when I'm trying to do that. So that takes the fun out of it for me. So I do use a hoop or whatever. So I got a stand, and I'm gonna try to get that put together. Maybe my husband will put it together for me this weekend. But I picked that up at Michael's. It was on sale for it was on a clearance price, like $25 or something. So I did get that. And I just love this idea that Brenda and Laura have come up with for a stitching a Blackbird design the first weekend of every month. I think is how that's going to turn out for them. I know that's how I kind of want to use that. So I got a book that I've been eyeballing their books for a while. I couldn't decide which one I wanted. There were so many good ones, but I opted for the Ulala Book. I think there are several patterns in here that I would use, that I would make into little projects, and so that's the one I got, and I really just want to stitch them all. But I think that's a lifetime of stitching right there in that book. I don't know. We'll see how it goes, how I do. And then I did pick up a few new patterns. Festival de Fleurs is one that I picked up while I was there, and I liked this. And the reason that I liked it, I think, is because I think I'm going to take each of those, and rather than stitching them all together, I'll stitch them and make little pillows to put my dough bowl for springtime. But the colors are really. I just like that color palette. You know, the green. I love that green. It's not my usual go-to green that I would choose, but I like that. I like the different containers that they have stitched on there, and then the little pops of color. It's just fun to me, and it actually, let's see. The fabric is a 32 count Belfast light cream by Zweigert, and it calls for DMC colors, so I'll probably have a lot of those. And then this is a Brenda Gervais the Brick House Sampler. Again, I think what I was back and forth on several that had different houses and different motifs in there. But what drew me to this one is the border along the bottom there. I love those colors. So, and then the birds. I liked the birds too. So I chose this one. I have no idea when I'll start these, honestly. And then Heartstring Samplery had caught my eye. Actually, they have several patterns that have caught my eye, but in particular, I'm liking her Sunday stitched patterns. And of course, all those hymns are so nostalgic for me, but I went with the It Is Well piece. That song has some real meaning for me. My mother's sister passed away from lung cancer at the age of 47. So she fought it for a long time, which was that's been 15 years ago. So she had a lot of time to think and plan out her funeral and the things that she wanted and didn't want. As a matter of fact, she told us that if we all stood around her casket and talked about how good she looked, she was going to haunt each and every one of us. And of course, we did because she did. But anyway, my sister, she sings, and at that time she sang a lot in our church. And one Sunday she sang It Is Well, and my aunt told her after, and this was probably a year before she passed away, my aunt told her that she wanted her to sing that at her funeral. And I have no idea how that girl did it. I really don't. She sang, I bawled. But anyway, I'm going to stitch that. And I really want to, I may have to stitch it twice because I'd like to stitch it and give it to my sister also. But I'd also like to stitch it for myself. So anyway, lot of meaning. I'm sure a lot of people have connections to different songs, perhaps that one or whatever. But music's always been a big connector in my family. We sit around a piano sometimes and just sing different hymns and different things. And so anyway, that whole line is special to me for that reason, but particularly I'm looking forward to stitching that one. Let's see, what else did I get? Thank you for listening to my stories as I ramble. I decided I needed a cute new pair of little scissors, so I did. I got me some little scissors. I can never find my scissors. I don't know. Sometimes I'm sitting on them, sometimes they're on the floor behind me. I really need a better setup for my stitching spot. But and then they do little pieces. Well, so they cut fabric to whatever size you want, or for whatever pattern you're doing, and then they have remnants that they'll sell for half price. So got a couple of remnants of Wren that I thought would be good sizes to do some smaller projects, maybe some pillows for dough bowls. So that's just some let's see, they're both 36 count, I believe. So I'm glad to have those. I'm trying to build a stash of that. And then this is a fat quarter of fawn. Isn't that so nice? Some of y'all probably already know about all this, but I mean, it's like a different world to me. All these different colors and counts and whatnot that you have to choose from. All the choices. We just have all those choices. So that's that. I was trying to think. Oh, I did buy a bigger QSnap because I just had that 8x8, and so I have a bigger piece of linen. Well, really, I thought that my what remains piece would fit on the bigger QSnap, like the 11 by whatever, 11 by 7 or something QSnap. And it does just fit. The problem with that size, and I wish I had thought about it before, is that it's when you're stitching in your top left corner, it's hard, and you're a right-handed stitcher, it's hard to reach all the way around there. So I hope I get better use from that. And maybe I just need to sit differently. I don't know. Does anybody else have that trouble? I know so many people are stitching in hand these days. I just don't feel like my stitches are consistent when I use that method. Um, but sometimes if I just have a few stitches to finish up, or just a small space to stitch, I will stitch in hand. But 97% of the time I'm stitching in a hoop or a frame. So gosh, that went really fast. Like I said, I really didn't have my notes either. Hold that thought. Oh, I know what else I wanted to mention. On Flosstube, I did manage to watch some Flosstube. I don't remember when I saw this. Maybe it was over the weekend when I had a slow minute at work. Anyway, Jan Hicks creates. I know she's been around for a while, I think. But she has a new pattern out called Florographica that I love. And she has started selling through an Etsy shop. I think she had an Etsy shop established a while ago, but it wasn't really for her cross stitch. It was for some jewelry that she was making. And she has changed that over, and she's going to be selling her cross stitch patterns out of that now. So I can't wait to get a hold of that. I really had to pump the brakes on my haul, because I do have some other things coming that I've ordered and that just aren't here yet. Don't tell my husband. But she talked about another, and she showed some examples of from another Etsy shop on there called the Cliffside Stitcher, and this particular Etsy seller creates designs from textiles from all around the world, and there were some really cool patterns there. I don't know if I'll ever get around to doing any of that, but it was really pretty, and really interesting things that she had in there to sell. And then I replied on a Real Housewives of Cross Stitch video on one of their giveaways, and I won a piece of linen. So I'll have that coming in the mail too. I'm so excited. I never win anything like that ever, and but I did. I won. I was so surprised to hear my name called. As a matter of fact, I generally don't even listen to the winnings. Even that's how sure I am that I'm not going to win. I'll respond and I'll say I'm interested in whatever numbers, and then I don't even watch the full video to see if I won or not. But anyway, I did. I won a piece of linen. That was so cool. So, yeah, I guess that's really all I have today. This is a short video, and I hope that I have more to share on my next one, which will be in a couple of weeks probably. Although my schedule does get crazy again because I had to switch around some days off so I can go to New Orleans because my daughter's graduating from college. So we'll be running down there for that. And anyway, I had to switch up some days with the girl. So anyway, crazy all the things that we still have to do for our kids. But I hope y'all have a good week. And if y'all are doing the Blackbird Stitch Along, I'm anxious to see your what you come up with and the progress that you make on your projects this week. But thank you again for watching. If you watched me this far, thank you. Thank you for all your kind words over the past couple of weeks. It made it easier to come back and do a follow-up video. And again, I'm doing this A, to meet people, and B, to keep me making progress, to keep me moving forward, so I have things to share, because you can't very well make a video if you don't have things to share, right? Oh, one last thing. Gosh, I really should have made some notes. Retreats. So I've been on scrapbooking retreats before. I've been on, just a girls' getaway retreat before. Never have I ever gone on a cross-stitch retreat before. And the whole idea of it just really gets me excited. But I don't know of any that are coming up. And is there a list? Does anybody know if there's a list floating around of some retreats? Or, I'm about ready to throw one together myself. Not really. I have no idea how to do that. But, yeah, I would love to have a retreat I would love to go to a retreat and meet some of you people. But, I've done a search, and first of all, I don't really know. Are people doing retreats? I've heard some vague mentions of, this one's going to a retreat, or whoever went to a retreat, but I don't know if, with the COVID restrictions and all that, if people are still doing full-on retreats this year. Anyway, I'm interested. Hit me up. Let me know what you know. Anyway, have a good week and make progress and be safe out there, and get your vaccines. And then my public service announcement regarding health and well-being this week is, gosh, I almost got away without doing that. I've added a full 6 minutes to my video just for things I forgot. Oh my gosh. Okay. I was giving it some thought. And this hobby is a sedentary hobby, right? We sit and we stitch. Now, I'm not suggesting that that's all people do in a day, but I just want to encourage you to try to fit in 30 minutes of exercise 5 days a week. Okay? 30 minutes of exercise 5 days a week. And that's not enough to achieve weight loss. But that is enough to keep your heart healthy. And that's the goal of my announcement today, is to get your heart healthy. So 30 minutes of exercise 5 days a week. And you try it. I'm going to try it. And hopefully we'll all start to feel better. You'd be amazed at how much energy you can get just from that little bit of activity every day. So with that, I'm off. Have a good week. Thanks again for watching. Y'all are very kind. Have a good one.